Jeep, I'll tell you what, man, you keep building rigs like this, you'll be around for another 65 years. Jeep, there isn't anything better. Well, you can see by where the camera's pointing, we're gonna do some real off-roading. There's one thing that Jeeps can do right, and that's go off-road. Jeeps do one thing, they go off-road. Well, we have to put it in four-wheel drive. Very simply, you just click it back into four-wheel lock right there. You can see by the light on the dash, and we'll tell you that the four-wheel drive is now turned on. Now I want wheel spin, so I'm gonna hit the ESP button once, and then I'm gonna hold it down for about 5 seconds, and then you're gonna hear a chime. ESP is now actually off. So we get a little wheel spin if we want while we're off-road. Now, there is that whole thing about treading lightly. I'm not gonna go out and throw roosters of mud, but if I want some wheel spin or if I need momentum to get out of something, I wanna be able to have that. Now, with the full frame and the rigid rear axle in this car, you're gonna see a lot of bounce. And my poor camera guy is gonna get bounced all over the place today. Sorry about that, Nate.
That's okay.
Now, one of the smart things, and we don't really do so much about the off-roading scene, but I have not been down this road in a while, so I'm gonna do something smart. I'm gonna get out here and scout where I'm going before we get stuck. What you want to do is go out and scout out what you're doing. Now, I'm certainly not the four-wheel drive guru. Is this something?
Yeah, we'll wait.
But I'll tell you this, I am smart enough to know that if you want to go out and do a little wheeling and you're going in places you don't know, you got to look at where you're going to drive. Because if you don't, like I said, you better make sure that AAA policy's paid up. Well, we've come up on this incline here, and it's going to give me a chance to show the four-wheel drive low system. Now, a lot of sport utilities don't even have that, but with Jeep, they have a four-wheel drive high and low range. What it does is it uses the torque multiplication by using a lower gear ratio, so you can just creep up something like this rather than tear up either the ground or your rig. Now, let's go put it to the test. Now, sticking in four low is a little bit different. You have to put the transmission in neutral, click this back into four low there. And you can see that it's gone into four low by the signal right there. You put it back in drive, and then you just really kind of let it creep. That's the whole idea behind letting the equipment do the work for you. And I'm just barely on the gas. We're turning maybe 1,1500 RPMs, and we might as well be on dry pavement because nothing is going to be stopping this Jeep from going up this hill. Now, these are the things that you're only going to see on a live axle style bladder frame SUV, is the way that this can articulate, and you can see by the way that the sway bar is twisted like that, that one wheel is all the way down, the other one's pushed up underneath. But that's what gives these types of vehicles the ability to not only have the ground clearance, but also the stability on uneven terrains. You can see by the way the Jeep is all pushed over that something like this is not going to be attainable in a car-based SUV. You're only going to find it with real off-road equipment, like on this little Liberty. This is what four-wheel drives are about. You can see these great skid pads that go all the way from front to back, protect the engine case, the transmission, the transfer case, all the way back to protecting the fuel cell, and even this great little nubby right here to protect the rear pumpkin and this yoke. And that's what makes Jeeps great, is all this equipment is built for a purpose. This is not, and I'll say it over and over and over, this is not a car-based sport utility. This thing is made to go off-road. A 3.7 liter V6, 210 horsepower, 235 pounds-feet of torque, and it drives into a 4-speed automatic transmission. And a cool little note, it has electronic throttle control, so when you do take this off-road, as we have, you don't have that bobbing or that constant kind of porpoising you get if you're jamming around on the bumps and up and down on the throttle. Now you can see by the decline behind me, what we're going to do is we're going to put the hill descent control to a test. It's an electronic system that will actually control the ABS and the way that the car will get down a hill like this. I said you can do that with four-wheel low, but one of the beauties of modern technology is you can let the Jeep do it for you. Now let's see if we can get it turned on, and then let's make sure it works. The first thing we need to do is engage it properly. Now we have it in neutral. We have to have the vehicle in four low. So now we're in four low, and then you just hit the button there, and you can see on the dash there's a little button right there for hill descent control. We're going to put it down into first gear to really let it do its work, but really the way that hill descent control works is it lets the electronics and the mechanics be used by a system that I just let go of the brake, and you can feel it. I'm not hitting the brake, but yet it is letting the vehicle ease down the hill. The people from Jeep will tell you this is the proper way to do it too, that you're not supposed to have your foot on the brake the whole time you're going downhill. If you lock the rear brakes and you make it so the wheels aren't rotating, the rear end can slide out from around you. And that is again why things like hill descent control are so great when it comes to going off-road. Well, I'll tell you what, we put the Jeep through its paces. We've taken it on-road, off-road, up and down hills, used the four-wheel low and the hill descent control. And I'll tell you what, there's a reason why each Jeep earns its badge. It's because they are trail rated.